public hearing for the taper report.
You go find Ms. Harris.
She's out
I think Mr. Fowler wants to get her.
Okay.
there. She's right there.
How are you, Mr. Bryce?
Mr. Rich, should I give it to you now, or when the public meeting?
I wish I could see that.
I'm
Why
sorry.
don't you hold up?
It's the sign-in sheet.
You can give it, well, I
They
don't
still have
know,
time
wait,
to sign.
just wait. We're ready for it,
Okay.
grand entry.
Yeah, right. I know having to wait for him, I know. You ready?
We're ready. Mr. Martindale, I'm sure he's seen it. What time is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not on
So much for a good entry, I just messed it up. There we go. Okay, so the 2019-2020 taper report, and I heard Mr. Martindale introduce it a little bit. But you'll see in here as well that a lot of it was not new because of COVID.
Before she starts, you want to come up and
The taper report, she's gonna, I think she actually addresses it.
Okay.
Okay, access to the, where do we need to stand?
Yeah, jump on here.
Access to the full report is going to be available on our website and also at TEA.gov. If you see ours is a few less clicks than TEA, TEA's got a lot, it's a little difficult to navigate. So on the first page of the taper report, it just gives your overall performance. Again, as you see, the 2020 accountability is not rated because of the disaster declaration. And then the special education determination status just comes from some of our progress monitoring stuff that's reported through PEEMS to TEA. So we did meet requirements for doing what we needed to do for our special ed population. So at the top of the taper, for about the first 20 pages of it, which are all the score reports, it has this disclaimer about COVID. So just due to COVID, there are no updates to scores. These are the main sections that are related to the scores that we're not going to update today because, again, you've already heard it when you heard the presentation last year. So no update to those. Okay, so the important note here is that the CCMR and the graduation attendance rates is new data because they were able to pull that because, again, it runs 2 years behind. So that was based on your 18-19 school year and the graduating class of 2019. So the attendance rate, I went ahead and just put what we had and then against the state average. So we are ahead of the state average in several of these areas, or all of these areas. And y'all just stop me if you have any questions. Okay, before we get into the CCMR, I think it's important to know a little bit about your group of graduating seniors. So here's a little bit of disclaimer about them, which you can all find in the taper. So there were 42 graduates. Here's our percentage based on ethnicity. 2.4 special ed graduates, 3.3 or 33.3 economically disadvantaged, and then 26.2 at-risk graduates. The graduation type is going to be based on the level of diploma that they earned. So we had 4 graduating just the foundation, and then we had 38 earning the distinguished level, which means they did earn that endorsement as well as their foundation coursework. So overall, for our 2019, and y'all know because we've used these when we were working on the board goals, so it was 70%, 70.2. So we are a little bit under the state average. So I think it's a good idea that we put the board goals in there, and we're working to remedy some of those problems. College-ready graduates, 45.2. And then the career and military-ready are 42.9. So you might ask yourself, why do those not equal together and equal 80-something%? Well, because some of these kids might earn an industry-based certification, but also meet the college-ready. So they only get to count once. If they earn any of those things, we only get to count them once as being college and career ready. Okay, and then here's just a little bit about our student as a district, the whole student information. I'm not going to read all of it. So the economically disadvantaged, 37.4, that's something that we watch because, again, that goes with some of our title funding. So we want to see what those, how that changes from year to year. 1.1% of English learners, 3.7% students with dyslexia, and then we have 11.9% with special education, 5.2 in the gifted and talented. Here's a little bit of staff information. So overall, we had 85.5 staff members, and then here's the breakdown of who is contained in that staff member. I'm not sure how we end up with a half person, but I guess some people were half-time, or 45.9% teachers. So some of this data we don't really, you never know when it comes out how they came up with all that. Teacher certificate, the specific information about the teachers. I did think it was worth mentioning that on average, our teachers have 12.9% years of teaching, or 12.9 average years of teaching experience. And there's a breakdown for each of them. Teacher turnover rate was 19.5%. And then we also are required to report on violent and criminal incidences. We didn't have any, but that's something we have to do every year. Officer Riddle follows all the board policies related to prevention of violent crimes, and she provides monthly reports kind of going on her activity. One of the things that she does, I think she'll be doing the next month, is with our students. One of the things that's required on their transcript now is that they have been trained on proper interaction with law enforcement. So she does that for all of her kids. We're doing that in our sophomore year, about the time they get their driver's license, so they kind of know how to do that. We missed a big group last year, so she's going to have to do it to 2 or 3 classes to get us caught back up. So, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Harris. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Does anyone have any questions for Ms. Harris?
No questions? Okay. Entertain a motion to adjourn the public hearing of the Taper report. Motion by Red, second. A second by Ms. Mallett. Those in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries 6-0.